Are you ready to join us on an incredible journey? Our goal is to reach 1 million subscribers, and we want you to be part of it. With your help, we can make it happen, and you could even win $100,000 in the process. So why wait? Come join us today, and let's get this party started. For more details on how to join, go to the description section below. Don't miss your chance at winning $100,000. Subscribe now to win big. In this video, we'll take a look at the most expensive mega projects now being built in the United States, including a racetrack in the streets of Las Vegas and the tallest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. Comment, like, and subscribe to Luxurious Prestigious. And don't forget to have your notification bell on for more updates. The 10th is the $5 million Las Vegas Grand Prix. The Grand Prix will return to Las Vegas, Nevada in November 2023 for the first time in 40 years. The parking area of the Caesars Palace Hotel had a track established when the city previously hosted the event. This time, they're trying something far more daring. A magnificent course that sends racers blasting past the vibrant lights of hotels, casinos, and the famed Bellagio fountain as they travel down Las Vegas Fame Street. Las Vegas has aging, unreliable roadways not appropriate for racing at high speeds. These roads will require a total resurface in the upcoming months. A paddock, pit stops, and other crucial infrastructure are also being funded by the city. An estimated $500 million will be spent on the project overall. Yet, it's anticipated that the race will make money. There are a number of packages, including a $1 million all-access experience, and general tickets, which start at $2,000, are also offered. A track tour, exclusive access to the pits, and a ride in a genuine F1 car are all included in this ticket. Even still, that is hardly the most expensive ticket available. The $5 million Emperor's Package offered by the Caesars Palace Hotel includes a private chef, 5 nights in the Nobu Sky Villa, and of course, a race ticket. There is no doubt that this track will be breathtaking when it is finished. The nighttime nature of the Las Vegas Grand Prix will ensure that the buildings on its side will be ablaze with lights and color. But this isn't the most expensive project now underway in the United States. That's not even close. Did you realize that hundreds of organizations referred to as data brokers gather private data on almost everyone online? It's nearly impossible to escape this, and there's a good probability that information on you is being kept, as well as very private information like your address, shopping preferences, and financial situation. This can include basic information like your name and email. When this information is being sold to other businesses or even published online without your knowledge, it may result in dangerous situations. Cybercriminals might, for instance, use this information to steal your identity and exploit it to commit fraud on other crimes. Incogni will track out the brokers and attempt to have all of your personal information removed from their databases. The brokers will have to delete your data since you have a right to privacy protection. Incogni's ability to perform this task automatically and with hundreds of managing multiple data brokers at once would require a significant amount of work. Thus, if you're sick of receiving spam calls and emails because your information was sold, Incogni can assist you in protecting your privacy. The 9. Bridge over the Brent Spence, $1.6 billion. Between the states of Ohio and Kentucky, a bridge over the large Ohio River was constructed in 1963. In today's dollars, it would have cost roughly $10 million, or about $70 million. The bridge featured 2 decks, with traffic going to Kentucky traveling on the top deck and Ohio traveling on the bottom deck. There is a problem though. The Brent Spence Bridge's original construction called for carrying 100,000 vehicles daily. But since then, both population growth rates and traffic have skyrocketed. The bridge has carried more than twice as many vehicles recently than it should have, which might have potentially harmful effects. In 2011, a section of the Brand Spence Bridge collapsed, causing a piece of concrete to fall onto a car. According to the local authorities, the bridge is routinely examined and is structurally sound, and the collapse was not caused by an increase in traffic. They do, however, have original concerns, including traffic jams, gridlock, and general halts on the clogged roadways. The government has approved a plan to spend $1.6 billion building a second bridge because of this. The original bridge only handles local traffic. The newer bridge, which has not yet been given a name, will handle all highway traffic from Interstates 71 and 75. In this manner, traffic will be considerably less, lowering the possibility of gridlock. The 8th position, the firm behind Madison Square Garden, is currently constructing a cutting-edge entertainment arena in Las Vegas called MSG Sphere, which will cost $2 billion, unlike anything the entire planet has ever witnessed. The biggest LED screen on the planet will be installed within the MSG Sphere, extending around the circular space barriers to round the audience fully. There will be 4D effects that go along with the screen, such as odors and seat vibrations. It is next-level entertainment that is wholly immersive. The Sphere's exterior will also be stunning, having a lighting shell that is programmable. The Sphere might be transformed into a massive pumpkin in the fall or a massive snow globe in the winter, depending on the lighting. In addition to all this, the MSG Sphere will be larger than the Avicii Arena in Stockholm to hold the record for the largest spherical structure in the world. In spite of development delays, the $2 billion venue was supposed to open in 2021. It was delayed as a result of the project's supply chains being hampered by the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2023, MSG now plans to inaugurate this magnificent sphere. If all goes according to plan, an identical structure in London will be constructed, but the application for the project has not yet been approved. 7. The $4.5 billion Gordie Howe International Bridge. Now the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America, which connects Canada and the USA, is the next structure on the list and represents the most ambitious construction endeavor. A total of $4.5 billion will be spent on it, and it will be 2.5 kilometers long with 6 traffic lanes. It costs more than twice as much as the MSG Sphere, or close to 3 times as much as the Brand Spence Bridge project. To put that amount in perspective, one unexpected expense that is included in this amount is the shipping of several hundred snakes. The proposed bridge will damage the habitat of a local species called the butler's garter. The snakes were needed because of Canadian environmental rules before building could begin, to be safely moved to another environment. Opening of the bridge is anticipated for 2024. It will bear the name of legendary hockey player Gordie Howe, who played the most of his career for the Detroit Red Wings. Howe's son approved of the name, even though he passed away before the bridge construction could start. Before arriving to America, Gordie Howe began his career there. He was chosen as the project's name since this bridge will make it easier for others to travel between the two nations. The 6th, the following undertaking is Amazon HQ2, $5 billion. HQ2 is the name of the second largest firm in the world's new corporate headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. They already have a pricey headquarters in Seattle, Washington. But as profits keep increasing, they want to quadruple their office space. HQ2 will be bigger than Amazon's HQ1, which presently houses 40,000 employees when it is built, as it can house 50,000 people. A corporation whose first offices were in Jeff Bezos' garage has experienced a stratospheric growth. Arlington wasn't always intended to be the site of HQ2. Cities were actually encouraged to submit bids to host Amazon's future headquarters. Local governments rushed to give tax benefits to Amazon across the nation in the hopes that the corporation would bring jobs to the area. It was a contentious process, since some questioned if HQ2 would genuinely help these communities, or if their frantic efforts to win the project would cause them to lose money. The helix, a complex structure that is almost 100 meters tall and spirals apart like a strand of DNA, will be the most remarkable feature of HQ2. Although Bezos has compared the helix to the elemental form of galaxies, weather patterns, pine cones, and seashells, not everyone finds this comparison to be quite flattering. The fifth, at $10.3 billion, Project Link will be a game-changing improvement to Austin, Texas's public transportation system. This is more than double the price of Amazon HQ2. A transit tunnel under downtown Austin, 3 new bus lines, 2 light rail lines, new park and ride services, and a complete redesign of all other city-owned transportation systems are all part of the plan. Project Link aims to accomplish some environmental goals as well as simplifying life for Austin residents. By running all of the buses and trains entirely on electricity, they hope to have a fleet of vehicles with no emissions. Compared to the first project proposal made in 2020, this is essentially a scaled-back version of the project. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, that earlier version had more ambitious goals, but compromises were made. The fourth, Chicago O'Hare Airport. The $12.1 billion airport upgrade, Chicago O'Hare, began as a military airport during the Korean War. New aircraft were mostly supplied by the airfield. The airport, however, became one of the biggest in the world when it began accepting commercial aircraft in 1955. The 8 runways at Chicago's airport are the most of any airport. There are 214 non-stop flights to locations all over the world, more than any other airport. Yet, this airport is cramped and ineffective. There are not quite enough facilities and terminals to accommodate the 50 million travelers who utilize the airport annually. That's why they made a decision to implement a cutting-edge makeover that will result in the expansion of 2 airport terminals and an increase in the number of gates. Beginning in 2026, work will begin, and during that time, the airport will continue to be open and accessible to both travelers and construction employees. Even while this improvement is a large undertaking overall, it is not the most expensive one on this list. The following project's price tag will be more than double that. The third on the list, the $25 billion Hudson Yards. Located in Manhattan, New York construction site, Hudson Yards is an innermost urban development. It began with a huge platform that had been skillfully constructed to sit atop a train storage area. The platform was then outfitted with incredible amenities that completely changed the neighborhood, including parks and groves, shops and restaurants, offices, residences, galleries, hotels, and the highest ice rink in New York. There is still a lot of work to be done, but a portion of the site is already accessible to the public, which is scheduled to begin in 2023. As part of the project's second phase, an increasing number of structures, including hotels, offices, and schools, will rise. The most recognizable of the project's components that are already complete is certainly the Edge, the highest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. A lot of reckless tourists are already attracted to the glass floor, which is perilously 100 stories above the ground below. Glass floors are not located this high from the ground anywhere else in the world. A honeycomb-like building named Vessel is another symbol of Hudson Yards. Despite having an extraordinarily complex design, when it originally debuted, it courted controversy. Tourists who took pictures or videos of the building were said to be the property of Hudson Yards, and they were free to use those images for commercial purposes without seeking permission. After widespread criticism of this approach, Hudson Yards was obliged to change its mind. Anybody who takes a picture now also owns that picture. Second, Texas Seawall, popularly known as the Eye, is ranked second with a $31 billion price tag. storms moving in from the Gulf of Mexico have always been a threat to Galveston Bay in southeast Texas. The Great Galveston Hurricane, which occurred in 1900, was the deadliest natural disaster in history with 8,000 fatalities. In order to prevent a repeat of the calamity, the Galveston seawall was built 2 years later. These seawalls served its purpose for a century, deflecting any large storm waves. The Galveston seawall was breached by waves from Hurricane Ike in 2008 nevertheless, which plowed through the area. In addition to killing over 100 individuals, the waves also damaged property worth $38 billion. An updated seawall that is predicted to perform better than the current one was proposed by the Army Corps of Engineers in 2018. A pair of surge gates with a 200-meter each will be the project's main component across. These gates will be open for the most of the year, allowing the base water to flow naturally in and out. But when a storm approaches, they will suddenly close, containing the waves. The new seawall could end up costing somewhere in the neighborhood of $31 billion. It's a staggering sum, yet it's less than what Hurricane Ike's damages cost. In other words, if a similar-sized cyclone strikes again, this seawall would pay for itself and save a lot of lives. And at the top of the list, and nearly twice as expensive as the Texas seawall, is Sound Transit 3, which will cost $53 billion. The goal of this new transportation system for Seattle, Washington, is to relieve the chronic congestion that has plagued the city for years. Between 2010 and 2015, the region's congestion increased dramatically by a staggering 95%. Everything boils down to population growth. According to experts, the area will see an additional 800,000 residents over the next 20 years, up from the 50,000 who moved there last year. More people equate to more vehicles, and more vehicles equate to greater traffic. In 2022, the majority of commuters in Seattle spent more than 50 hours per year stuck in traffic, which is equivalent to 2 full days. Although Seattle is a city that has chosen to take action, this is not the worst traffic in the nation. Commuters in Chicago have it 3 times worse. During the construction of Sound Transit 3, 100 kilometers of rail will be built with a daily passenger capacity of 600,000. Together with numerous stops and stations, there are also planned rapid buses. In order to prevent the overpopulation from getting out of control, the project is anticipated to gradually open between 2024 and 2041. Among these initiatives, which one thrills you the most? Comment below and let us know. Much more ambitious than Sound Transit 3 is another massive project that belongs on this list. Please come back for the next one. Thank you for watching.